Here is the passage with proper punctuation. At any point would you have believed that the blast of the red giant Betelgeuse was fast approaching? New close-up pictures show that something unusual is occurring on Betelgeuse. Since 2019, the ancient star has been giving signs that dramatic changes are happening inside it. After an event that became known as the Great Dimming, Betelgeuse again showed irregularities in 2023 that could not initially be explained by the usual processes on this star. Does this now imply that Betelgeuse will soon detonate, and we on Earth will witness a glorious cosmic explosion? It's incredibly exciting what is currently happening on Betelgeuse. In 2023, the red supergiant star showed an exceptional change in brightness. This time, the brightness didn't diminish but increased, nearly from one day to the next. The star appeared about half as bright, which is truly unprecedented. Betelgeuse is currently over 700 times larger than our Sun and has over 100,000 times its luminosity. The strange increase in brightness has stirred the interest of the global astronomical community, as such a massive change in brightness might be the long-awaited sign of the approaching cosmic explosion. When Betelgeuse detonates, we on Earth will witness this incredibly fascinating spectacle. The star, which is probably only 10 million years old, will die as a powerful supernova. Explosions of this kind are very brilliant and energetic for a few moments. Betelgeuse will shine brighter than the entire universe once and for all, and then it will vanish forever. Betelgeuse was already a very large star before it expanded into a red supergiant. These types of stars generally have much shorter life expectancies than our Sun, for example, which has already been around for 4.5 billion years and is expected to keep shining happily for another 4.5 billion years. Since we learned that Betelgeuse is a red supergiant star nearing the end of its life, astronomers and space fans worldwide have been waiting for this once-in-a-100-years event. Witnessing a supernova live is a once-in-a-blue-moon event, and it is uncertain that we will see it. There are various assumptions about when Betelgeuse will detonate. The energy was already perfect in 2019 when the red giant star showed a noticeable dimming in its brightness. Not only were global experts and star scientists in a frenzy, but the press was also filled with reports. Some papers reported signs of the approaching cosmic explosion, and suddenly all eyes turned toward the Orion constellation. Then came the official statements from the leading Betelgeuse experts, who were of the opinion that Betelgeuse would become brighter instead of dimmer before its final end. The analysts were proven right. The irregularities in Betelgeuse dimming continued into 2020, and then went down in the history of astronomy as the Great Dimming. In February 2020, Betelgeuse brightness reached an all-time low. After intense study, it was determined that the dimming was caused by a massive release of hot gas from the surface of Betelgeuse. The gas cooled, forming a thick layer of dust particles that blocked the star's light for a long time, causing the observed decrease in brightness. In 2023, astronomers unexpectedly recorded an increase in brightness, and again the question arose as to whether this surprising change could be a sign that we would soon witness the supernova. Again, the astronomers waved it off. The vast majority of experts agree that the sudden 50% increase in brightness doesn't indicate an impending explosion. Instead, it is a sort of consequence of the Great Dimming from 2019 to 2020. The huge amount of dust and gas ejected during the dimming had disturbed the normal brightness patterns of Betelgeuse. Detailed studies have shown that the phenomenon occurred within a long-known 200-day cycle, during which Betelgeuse brightens radically without being related to an upcoming explosion. The 2020 event shortened the usual 200-day cycle to about 200 days. This shortening meant that Betelgeuse increase in brightness happened earlier and was also more extreme than expected, leaving stars to display their luck. I bet you didn't know that our bodies and our Earth are made from the elements of dying stars. Despite the history of our universe, scientists have also recreated the ways in which matter and elements were formed. This revealed that the first stars and their explosions played a huge role in the development of matter in the universe. It was rich in light to start the universe. The first stars were there, for extremely light supergiants with a very short life expectancy. Within this limited lifespan, the giant stars converted hydrogen into helium. This nuclear fusion produced vast amounts of energy, which made the stars shine. Eventually, when the supply of hydrogen ran out, they fused helium into heavier elements such as carbon and oxygen. These cycles ultimately led to massive supernova explosions that spread the heavier elements into space, contributing to the development of new generations of stars. As these events continued, new generations of stars, planets, and finally us, with our bodies, were formed. The oxygen on our planet, the water, and the rich soil on which we live were formed from the deaths of stars. To this day, giant stars spread their elements throughout the galaxy and the entire universe. At the end of their lives, when Betelgeuse detonates, millions of tons of material, dust, and gases will be blown into space. New stars and planets will then be formed from these elements in other places. So when Betelgeuse begins its final journey, it will not completely die. Enormous pieces of its mass will be. Here's the text with punctuation added for clarity. Reused, where Betelgeuse once stood, a neutron star or a dark opening will stay after its end, regardless of these heritages. Insect juice will never again be apparent to us. Nearly each and every individual who is keen on stargazing, space, or heavenly bodies knows this star as a significant piece of the constellation Orion, the mythical hunter and contender, with its particular blade. It is quite possibly one of the best-known groups of stars in the night sky. Betelgeuse, in Orion's shoulder, has been a guiding star and the focal point of legends and fantasies for millennia. When it is gone, a time will vanish with it. Furthermore, the heavenly body of Orion will no longer be the same. Only those who are eccentric or have faith in the old legends will believe that this will have any social effect on our planet. Even after the cosmic explosion blast of Betelgeuse, our globe will likely continue to rotate as normal for our science. The continuous, dramatic changes on the surface of creepy-crawly juice and the important experiences that follow are a true treat. Seeing the last phases of the life of a huge star like Betelgeuse is a unique opportunity. In the last century, further advanced technologies have permitted analysts to notice supernovae in distant systems. Yet here, in our own Milky Way, only 650 light-years from us, this event is of much greater interest to science. So, Betelgeuse's fate is both a show and a fortunate turn of events. At the same time, we will see it with the unaided eye. One thing is now sure, Betelgeuse's emotional finale will be visible to the unaided eye from Earth. This offers a unique opportunity to experience the powerful blast up close. The blast can't be just far away because bug juice has already used up its hydrogen supply. When the hydrogen in its center ran out, the star began to fuse helium into heavier components such as carbon and oxygen. These fusion processes released enormous amounts of energy millennia ago, which kept the star stable and made it shine. Over time, the fusion processes became considerably more wasteful. Eventually, layers of various components formed in creepy-crawly juice. Helium fused in the middle to form carbon and oxygen, while hydrogen was still fusing in the outer layers. The fusion of heavier components gradually releases less and less energy, and the center will ultimately implode. The last breakdown of the creepy-crawly core is caused by the gravitational force, which packs the matter in the core to such a degree that the electrons are driven into the atomic cores. This will lead to an unexpected expansion in pressure and temperature, making the core be destroyed in a gigantic blast, which we then see as a cosmic explosion. During the blast, gigantic amounts of energy are released, pushing the outer layers of the star into space at incredible speeds. These layers contain countless heavy elements that were made by the fusion processes inside the star. These components are scattered into space and contribute to the formation of new stars and planets. When Betelgeuse goes supernova, the event will shine so brightly that we will actually be able to see it without really trying to hide. For a couple of seconds, it will be like a brilliant flash. Then the remnants of the blast will continue to shine so brightly for weeks to months that Betelgeuse will become one of the most brilliant objects in the night sky. The supernova will probably shine as brightly as the full moon for weeks. Now, you're probably wondering, when will this happen? Well, the last blast should be observable by a sudden increase in brightness. Within a few days, Betelgeuse will increase in brightness and then explode. So, if you regularly look towards Orion and a star shines brightly there, it could soon be time. Scientists say that the finale could come tomorrow, or maybe not for another 100,000 years. The first supernova on Earth was Kepler's. Supernovae are rare events, and researchers have recently become aware of this phenomenon in our own star system. It is estimated that a star detonates at regular intervals, but we don't see many supernovae. The last supernova visible and recorded from Earth was supernova 1987A in the Large Magellanic Cloud, a little adjoining system of the Milky Way. This supernova was discovered on February 24, 1987, and gave cosmologists a significant opportunity to study in detail the physical processes and repercussions of a supernova. Much further back in history, there was the supernova SN 1604, also known as Kepler's supernova. This supernova was so bright that it was visible in the daytime sky for a few weeks. Kepler was astonished to note in his journal that a star had been born that shone nearly as brightly as the moon. People have occasionally noticed a supernova in our galaxy, but there are no records of this event. Betelgeuse supernova won't just be a stunning celestial event, but also an exceptional event in the history of science. We have never been so close by to observe it firsthand. Subscribe to the feed now and look forward to numerous new recordings.